They taught humans how to build and were worshipped as gods.
If you think about it, the Predator's consistent return to Earth despite frequent losses may seem counterproductive. I mean, they come, they hunt, and get killed. Governator killed one brutally, and then a regular city cop killed another. So why do they keep coming back to get their asses whooped? Well, it's driven by a combination of factors. One reason is that hunting humans provides a unique challenge that pushes predators to refine their tactics. Earth's evolving threats and human ingenuity make them quite the prey. And the predators love a prey that can give them a run for their money, or whatever it is that these aliens use. Additionally, there's a morbid fascination the predators have with human unpredictability, finding them entertaining targets. This affinity is evident in their abduction of humans for combat scenarios on their game-preserved planet. Despite their losses, the diverse skills and resilience of humans make them one of the galaxy's strongest adversaries in the Predator's eyes. But do we have anything in the comics that can answer this question? Well, yes. The comic Predator Homeworld tells the story of why exactly the Predators keep coming back to Earth. In this video, we will explore exactly that and get to the bottom of this mystery. Oh, and at the end of the video, we also discuss if the Predators really had ancestors from Earth. And now, let's begin. Before we get into our explanation, we do have one very small request. If you enjoy our content, then please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Now let's begin. A hunter in the park. The story begins with an unnamed and mysterious government agent from a mysterious organization overlooking the investigation of a biologist named Maya Bergstrom and a combat photojournalist named George Sperling. Both of them happened to be present in Montana Yellowstone National Park. Maya was in the region to oversee the rehabilitation of wolves in the park, while George had been hired by a magazine to make a film on elk rut. You know, the elk mating. But of course, things were about to go awry for both of them. It was supposed to be George's last night of shooting in the park when he heard intense elk cries coming not far from his tent. He immediately doused the fire and hoped that whatever the predator was, it did not find him. The following morning, he went to investigate and was shocked to see what he saw. What he found was carnage. Raw and pure carnage. He had told himself during the night that maybe he heard a grizzly attack in the herd, but no grizzly had done this. All the grizzlies in Yellowstone National Park combined could not have massacred the elks. In fact, they would not do such a thing. Pieces of carcasses were missing in a random and crazy fashion, like someone tried to butcher them but did not know how to do so. George followed a blood-stained trail and reached a place where half a carcass had been tied to a tree. Can you believe that? On the other hand, Maya found herself near the hot springs and boiling mud holes. She thought she was safe there because no animal big enough to harm her treaded in the geyser country. However, she could not be more wrong. To her utter shock and horror, she came across a massive predator, now known as the Homeworld Ancient Predator. He had pale green skin with gray dreadlocks, which was a sign that predator had been around for a while now. The Homeworld Predator would have definitely killed her, since she was pointing her dart gun at him. But being a biologist working in the forests, she knew that the best way to stay safe from a few beasts was by not coming off as a threat. She immediately threw her gun down, and the predator left her alone. But interestingly, she did not want to leave him alone. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for her, and she wanted to make full use of it. So, she started following him. But she also knew that she should not intrude on his privacy more than necessary, because that would have forced him to get rid of her. And by getting rid, I don't mean that he would have asked her politely to go away. She would have ended up missing a skull here and a spine there. Maya's doubts turned to beliefs. But where was the predator going if he was not interested in hunting? Maya notes, "It was amazing to watch. He moved so surely, as though he were following a well-worn path. I didn't know whether he was following a scent or using some other sense that I couldn't even imagine." Now, this was a very important observation, at least as far as this video is concerned, and I will elaborate on it as we move further ahead into the story. But as soon as he entered the tree line, the Homeworld Ancient Predator changed his tactic. His pace was not relaxed anymore, as if he was getting closer to what he had been wanting to hunt. On the other hand, George continued on his quest to find the elk genocider, so he also ventured deep into the tree line and came across the carcass of a giant bear. It wasn't long before he encountered a predator. This was a younger one and was standing atop a tree branch. He knew that death was near because anything that could do what it had done to the bear would have no trouble shredding him. But fate sent George a distraction in the form of a barking dog. This younger predator was not interested in George anymore and went in the direction of the barking. George was once again in his potentially deadly pursuit and looked from a distance as the predator reached a farm inhabited by a small family. The man of the house came out with his weapon, but he was clearly no match for his adversaries because there was not just one predator, but 3 of them. It had taken the predators only a few seconds to turn his little paradise into a living hell. His family had been massacred before his eyes, and now it was his turn to die. George understood that the monsters he was dealing with killed for the fun of it. They sought no glory and killed because they wanted to. Clearly, the Ancient was here to eliminate these 3 thrill-kill predators, or bad blood predators. These 3 young predators were bringing disgrace to the Yautja society by not following the Yautja Code of Honor, and had to be eliminated. The predator holds a strange familiarity with Earth and her creatures. The unruly renegade predators continue to carve a wake of death, peacefully unaware of the fact that one of their veteran warriors had come to hunt them down. Elsewhere, the homeworld Ancient Predator and Maya come across a herd of 20 bison. While George had witnessed firsthand what the predators could do, Maya was yet to learn about the ferocity of the creature she had been tailing. She wanted to warn him to stop him from engaging, because bison could be fierce creatures, but the predator went ahead anyway to collide with a charging bison. The predator leapt into the air, got on the back of the bison, held it by its horns, and swung it away in another direction. The bison had learned its lesson. Maya was stunned, or maybe stunned is an understatement. But to her utter surprise, something strange happened. It was the last thing she expected. This creature was actually showing reverence for nature. But why was the predator behaving in the manner that he was? Why would an alien hold such love for creatures from a whole other world? Not long after, another question got her to question things. The predator stopped for a while, used one of his weapons to dig a hole into the earth, and pulled out a root. It got Maya wondering, how did it know what was safe to eat and where to find it? She had begun to presume that the creature she had been dealing with was an Earth animal, but it also got her thinking about what it was doing on Earth. Did the predator come to Earth on a vacation or pilgrimage? She thought as a true scientist and wondered about the many gaps on the evolutionary chart. I mean, creatures have simply disappeared virtually overnight. These disappearances are often explained by mass extinctions, but Maya wondered about escapees, creatures who had an evolutionary jump instead of meeting dead ends. For instance, therapsids, the mammal precursors, vanished during the Permian-Triassic extinction. But what if some of those creatures had a remarkable level of evolution and got access to some kind of technology, maybe even alien technology, and they managed to get out of Earth? She believed that maybe there were other intelligent races watching, taking promising species to a place where they can develop to their full potential. I mean, some believe that if the crocodiles had better circulation, they would have evolved into dragons, or at least giant flying reptiles. Do predators really have ancestors from Earth? A while later, Maya and George crossed paths, and of course, the 2 of them decided to stick along. It's always good to have someone from your own race when surrounded by monsters, right? No puns intended, by the way. Anyway, a little while later, the Ancient and the Bad Blood Predators met for the first time. Ancient was ruthless with them, and they had to run with their lives, but not before injuring him. Nevertheless, the homeworld predator carried on with his journey soon enough. During a conversation with George, Maya tells him about a theory. She sincerely believes that it would be wrong to call these creatures aliens. From watching her otherworldly companion for hours and hours, she came to believe that the creatures had come back to their spawning grounds. Most migratory birds and animals use magnetic fields to navigate to and from their breeding grounds. Furthermore, we do not know everything there is to know about space. She believed maybe there was some kind of conductivity humans did not know about, but George pointed out that all theories have to have a scientific basis, or they at least have to be based somewhere in reality. She believed that maybe they evolved from some ancestor, or proto-mammal, or something like that. So, there you have it. That was Maya Bergstrom's theory on the origin of predators, and why they kept coming back to Earth. What do you think about this? Personally, I feel Maya's theory is a bit over the top, and doesn't feel entirely believable. But that's just my opinion. If you've got something else on your mind, I'm always open to it. Interestingly, there is yet another origin story of the predators that discards their whole history and the name Yautja. In fact, according to this one, the predators originated from an animalistic race called the Hish-Kutan. The Hish were genetically engineered by another technologically advanced race called the Amengi, who used the Hish as gladiatorial fighters. Eventually, the Hish rose in rebellion under the leader of Kyle, the first predator ever. We have an entire video on Kyle's origin. I'll leave you a link in the description. We'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also, stay tuned with us as we promise to come back with more exciting content. Till then, goodbye and have a nice one.